48 hours after President Paul Biya's State of the Nation address, reactions from within and out of the country keep pouring in with a strong expression of optimism for the future. Fish farmers in the country are looking forward to a boost in fish production following the exemption of custom duties and value-added tax on the importation of aquacultural inputs and equipment. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 News. I am Benin Bumagana live from Studio 5 of the CRTV Production Center in Balatu, Yaoundé.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
48 hours after President Paul Biya's State of the Nation address, reactions bedecked with optimism are still flowing in. Most of the early reactions were shared during a special radio and television program organized by the Cameroon Radio Television, the CRTV, and made available on all its social media platforms. Ibneza Akanga compiled the reactions of some of the resource persons in the following report.
The special program that was coordinated from CRTV Balatu with teams of reporters and technicians deployed to several parts of Yaoundé and other towns of the country enabled Cameroonians to react to the address of the head of state to the nation. From COVID-19 through insecurity, the democratic and decentralization process in the country, the socio-political crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, and the Shan, President Paul Biya touched on key issues of national life.
That message in itself, apart from being a word from a head of state, it is one that addresses issues of grave importance in Cameroon.
The head of state speech was an almost optimistic speech that assured young people that the head of state is doing everything to make the growth of our country being resilient.
The recognition by the head of state of efforts of the defense and security forces to maintain peace and the territorial integrity of Cameroon did not leave soldiers indifferent.
We thank the head of state for recognizing our work well done here, and we assure him we are going to continue with our efforts.
In the southwest region, the concern of the head of state for the socio-political crisis in the two English-speaking regions caught attention.
He talked about the coronavirus, commended the doctors and the nurses again, went into insecurity, and of course when you are talking about insecurity, it hits the northwest and southwest mostly.
Another issue which resource persons found pertinent was that of sports infrastructure.
It will help build the youth. It will help develop Cameroonians, especially those who play football.
On the whole, resource persons who participated in the special program from across the national territory expressed satisfaction with the presidential address.
And reactions are also coming in from the regions after the president's message to the nation. In the northwest and the southwest regions, authorities say the speech was an appeal to the population to partake in all reconstruction and development projects for the region, while in the far north, plans to strengthen security measures were applauded. Details in the following report.
The solemn announcement by the head of state of the reconstruction plan for the far north region, devastated by Boko Haram atrocities, has been welcomed by personalities across the board.
By hearing what the head of state said, in the far north region, the future will be bright.
problems of Marwa City are inside this plan of reconstruction.
The rainy season, we face the flood. With this reconstruction of the Fano, this problem will be resolved.
The recommendation by President Paul Biya for the strict respect of barrier measures against COVID-19 sounds as a wake-up bell to inhabitants of the far north region.
What interests me, draw my attention too much for what concerns the region is encouragement the head of state is giving to the population to go back to their villages.
The regional assembly has come to answer the cries of the people, the population of the Southwest province. We are asking the population to be patient, that better days are yet to come.
The elected officials think President Paul Biya's speech is a moment for everyone to reflect on how to come out of the 4-year socio-political crisis.
In 2021, we have the possibility of bringing all forces together that will work for the interest of one Cameroon.
For us to give meaning to the special status, we need to work as one.
We are looking forward to this revamping of the economy.
Our main plan of action is to mobilize the population of this region to fight against the ghost town.
The city mayor of Bamenda, Paul Achobong, has been working out a plan with traders in the city towards stamping out Monday's ghost town phenomenon still observed here.
President Paul Biya's address to the nation last December 31 was followed carefully in the Central African Republic by the Cameroonian public out there. Cameroon's ambassador to the Central African Republic, His Excellency Nicolas Zoyum, says the message has revived hope in Cameroonians for the future. CRTV's envoy to the Central African Republic also tells us that 25 Cameroonian police officers received epaulets operating with the peacekeeping force MINUSCA. Caroline Okie-Anoma reports.
At exactly 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve in Bangui, His Excellency Ambassador Nicolas Zoyum was glued in front of his television set, listening to President Paul Biya's message to the nation alongside close collaborators. What struck the ambassador most was President Paul Biya's optimistic approach on key issues regarding the country.
In spite of all the difficulties, national and international, means security difficulties, economical difficulties, social difficulties, Cameroon is standing up. Cameroon is standing up.
Meantime, at the Cameroonian Force Police Unit here in Bangui, 39 military personnel were awarded epaulets.
Today is a remarkable day here in Bangui, Central Africa, because it happens that today we are in Bangui, the 1st of January, and this epaulet happened to meet us here. I'm wearing, what you see on me is adjutant.
Although away from the country, the Cameroonian way of celebrating such awards was very present. Food, dancing, and of course arrosage kick-started the new year. Reporting live from the Central African Republic, I'm Caroline Okie-Anoma for CRTV.
One of the priorities of the state in 2021 will be to ensure that there are conducive conditions for job and wealth creation through structural transformation of the economy. This was highlighted in the head of state's end-of-year address to the nation. As Crise explains, there will be need to enforce result-oriented actions. Here is her report.
Focus, amongst other concerns, will be on the fight against poverty and unemployment in order to create conducive conditions for inclusive development. While a number of actions undertaken by the state in this regard have borne some fruits, they remain largely below targets. This explains the head of state's call for a more vigorous implementation of job and wealth creation projects. The aim is to achieve an 8% growth rate through the structural transformation of the economy, one of the milestones of the 2020-2030 National Development Strategy. As economists insist, though, one of the inevitable do's will be rational public spending, as highlighted in the President's end-of-year message. Effectiveness is crucial, thereby pushing for a result-oriented approach to all investment-related activities. The goals set for the next decade will define most of economic activity in the coming months. Even though resilience has been guaranteed, going further will require commitment from the different players to succeed. The public and private actors therefore have to get to work in a context where more and more there is no room for complacency and laziness.
On to something else, and in the littoral region, the supply of fish produced locally is less than the demand, a situation which farmers have long attributed to numerous taxes on equipment and fish feed. The new finance law and other government measures put in place should hopefully boost local production and reduce importation in the days ahead. Details with Mercy Ashu in Douala.
For many centuries, fish has been an important component of the population's diet in many parts of the world. In the littoral, it promises to be a productive venture in 2021 with the government's new finance law.
The decision the government took is really good because it will reduce the price because all the taxes on the food will be removed. This will greatly help all the producers because their burden, what they put in to get the fish will reduce, and now they'll be able to get more. So what they will put to be small, while their profit will be much.
For these producers, the tax exemptions on fish feed, on incubators and other equipment is an added advantage that will make fish available in the market. Estimated at 280 tons in 2019, experts hold that production will double and incite youths to create new opportunities to fight unemployment.
And just as Mercy Ashu is saying, agricultural inputs, equipment and material will henceforth be imported without custom duties and value-added tax. The exemption comes with the 2021 finance law, and the move by government aims at boosting the production of fish in order to discourage fish importation. Ewane Epole says more.
The measures taken by government will help to solve part of the 160 billion CFA francs spent to import frozen fish every year. The finance law for the 2021 fiscal year, promulgated by the head of state, President Paul Biya, reflects on the will of the state to give a decisive boost to the implementation of its imports substitution policy.
There is a great measure which has been taken there to exonerate custom taxes and TDR. Now we are producing around 400,000 tons. We are imported, as you know, 185,000 tons of, and this quantity, what's to be imported, have to be produced here.
With this new finance law, the development of aquaculture in Cameroon is now on the right track.
There is about 135 private operators, including 5 foreigners and other 130 nationals, including 60 young fish farmers. One this operator to effectively going on to field and produce more fish for Cameroon.
According to Minister Tiger, fish farmers will receive assistance to increase the production of fish for home consumption.
Experts in the aquacultural sector have thus examined the pilot phase of the Agriculture Investment Markets Development Project, known by its French acronym as PITMA, and made recommendations for further funding from government and the World Bank. The 9th session of the committee was chaired by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe. Details with Mukwele Princeville at Duma.
Cassava and maize in other parts of the country attracting funding from government and the World Bank. Over 9 billion CFA francs managed by the PITMA project in the last 5 years is evaluated in this 9th session of the pilot phase of the project, with the building of capacities of cooperatives, provision of equipment for post-harvest treatment, transformation and marketing of this produce, which is the overriding objective of PITMA.
And information from the various reports give us enough reasons for the continuity and sustainability of actions undertaken.
of the COVID-19 notwithstanding, this committee is determined to foster accompanying projects like the rehabilitation of roads, the cases of the Lekie, Sanaga Maritime and Nyongankele divisions in the Center region. From every indication, government's drive on third-generation agriculture is well on course.
Away from our aquaculture, some newly promoted personnel of the defense forces involved in the fight against insecurity in the Adamawa region have received epaulettes. The ceremony took place Friday in Gaoundere and was presided over by the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, at the end of his two-day walking visit to the region. Silas Nkwine reports.
The apex of the activities that mark the two-day working visit of the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, to the Adamawa region was surely the award of epaulettes to deserving soldiers at the 5th military sector in Gaoundere. Over 20 officers, non-commissioned officers and soldiers of the rank and file were happy recipients of the promotional insignias.
Very good. In fact, I'm overwhelmed. I'm really grateful. Thanks to my hierarchy that has made me to be like this, because they have condensed all my efforts for me to be like this, because the past effort that I did, they have congratulated me to give me this epaulette. So I also thank God and thank my family too.
During the ceremony, organized in strict respect of the coronavirus barrier measures and in strict military tradition, the laureates recommitted themselves to stand strong in protecting territorial integrity, persons and properties in the Adamawa region and the nation at large.
In the littoral region, over 100 military personnel receive epaulettes to their new ranks in the military in separate ceremonies. The award ceremony was organized separately to respect barrier measures against COVID-19 pandemic. Alphonse Bongwa reports.
A new year, a new promotion. This is how the fortunate elements of Cameroon's defense and security forces serving in the 2nd Joint Military Region start their 2021 under the supervision of the region commander, General Benoit Eba. Epaulettes have been appended on their shoulders to remind them of the new responsibilities and challenges the nation awaits from them. They serve on air, on land and at sea, protecting and preserving the territorial integrity of Cameroon.
I'm a military magistrate. I have higher responsibility now to restore the peace in my society.
Letters of congratulations were handed by hierarchy to 4 staff of the Joint Military Region who demonstrated professionalism, probity and abnegation. At the Douala Naval Base, the commander, Colonel Nzanamvondo, supervised the same exercise, with recipients promising to implicate themselves more than ever before for the country's security.
More than 50 elements of the Cameroonian army have received epaulettes corresponding to their new ranks in the military. The award ceremony took place at the base of the 50th and 51st Mobile Operation of the National Gendarmerie Bafoussam, chaired by the commander of the West Legion of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel James Mbang Minlo. Chanceline Nanze reports.
Out of the more than 50 newly promoted, there were 12 senior officers, 4 officers and 23 non-commissioned officers who, through the reception of their epaulettes, said their determination to defend fatherland has been renewed.
It's a great motivation for those of us who have been on the field, putting in our best to serve the green, red, yellow flag of our country, Cameroon.
I wanted to thank the Almighty, He who accepted that I should be promoted this day. I also want to thank the head of state, chief of armies, who allowed me to award this rank.
The commander of the West Legion of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel James Mbang, while presiding at the event, prescribed discipline and hard work as the secret to more awards. The presentation of gifts by family members will later put an end to the Epaulette Award ceremony at the base of the 50th and 51st Mobile Squadron of the National Gendarmerie.
In the far north region, about 129 military officers also received epaulets during a ceremony presided over by the governor, Mijiyawa Bakari. They were saluted for their efforts in the fight against Boko Haram. Henry Tato Ekambi reports from Marua.
What a way to enter the new year with a new medal. That is the story of the 139 commissioned and non-commissioned officers who moved up to ranks like colonel, captain and chief warrant officer. They believe this decoration is a mark of confidence and a call for more diligence.
My hierarchy has compensated me for my hard work, and I now have to be more rigorous with myself because the faults that were being tolerated when I was a lieutenant will not be pardoned now that I am a captain. I thank the hierarchy for this honor, and I see this epaulet as an added responsibility that I am ready to live up to.
The epaulet award ceremony that was presided over by Far North Governor Mijiyawa Bakari in the presence of the President of the Far North Regional Council, Daniel Kabasu, and other authorities ended with a handing over of a bouquet of flowers and a military parade.
Let's go over to the North region now, where during a ceremony to award epaulets, which was spread out in multiple venues in compliance with COVID-19 measures, those promoted expressed their determination to strive for greater productivity. Luisa Akwanka Achato reports.
Context of the raging coronavirus pandemic influenced the organization of the Epaulet Award event, which unfolded on multiple venues, with numbers of celebrants and awardees restricted rigorously to limit the propagation of the virus. That did little to dampen the celebratory mood which pervaded each venue as commissioned and non-commissioned officers received their epaulets corresponding to their new ranks, whose ecstasy and gratitude was perceptible.
I'm very happy. I thank my hierarchy for this promotion.
I'm grateful to God and thank Cameroon Army for the renewed confidence.
A prescription for continued assiduity was dished out in these words.
Protecting persons and their property, that's our duty. Continue working very hard so that the more epaulets will come in the course of their career.
Among those decorated were 5 colonels and 2 lieutenant colonels at the headquarters of the 3rd Joint Military Region.
Now let's get into the second counter of this newscast and talk about our fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Our tour of the different regions takes us to the south region of Cameroon to get updates on COVID-19 figures as we join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Center, CUSP, with details. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Benin Bumagana. We're supposed to be having officials of the South Regional Delegation of Public Health to give us the latest updates as far as what measures they have put in place to be able to contain the spread of the coronavirus in that part of the country some 10 months after the first COVID-19 case was confirmed in the country. But from statistics made available or put at our disposal, the statistics inform us that so far in the South region of the country, we have witnessed 693 persons who have been tested positive for COVID-19 ever since we had the first case in Cameroon this year, and so far 14 persons have died of COVID-19 in the South region of Cameroon since the first case was confirmed in the country in the month of March, leaving a death rate that stands at 2.0%. That is in the South region of the country, and the number of persons who have recovered from this deadly virus in the South region stands at 674, with public health experts in that part of the country who are continuing on daily basis to sensitize the population as to the need for them to continue respecting the different outlined barrier measures so as to be able to limit the spread of the coronavirus in the South region of Cameroon. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
Very much, Baldwin Sama van Kamer. You have to continue taking good care of yourself. Senator Gregoire Mbamba of the South region has assured some underprivileged citizens of Kribi that he will continue working with the CPDM party to improve on their living conditions in 2021. This was during a common meal offered by the senator at the seaside resort town of Kribi to mark the beginning of the year 2021. Charles Anyangwe reports.
A kind gesture from Senator Gregoire Mbamba to start the new year 2021 with some of the people he considers CPDM supporters at the grassroots in Kribi. The common meal he offered was highly appreciated by the beneficiaries.
I'm very happy and thank Senator Mr. Mbamba. The population, we are very happy. God bless.
Senator Gregoire Mbamba told the Bayam Salams, motorbike riders and other underprivileged citizens in Kribi that they should embrace the beginning of the new year with hope and optimism as he communed with them along the beach of the Atlantic Ocean. The city mayor of Kribi, who was present at the common meal, expressed his satisfaction for the gesture.
I'm very glad to thank the senator because he has offered to the people who the life is not very good.
The senator thanked the city mayor and told his CPDM supporters at the base that he will continue working with the ruling party to improve on their living conditions in 2021.
An association of the staff of the Ministry of Social Affairs has reached out to some orphanages in the nation's capital. They donated foodstuff and other basic needs as an annual tradition of solidarity towards the vulnerable and less privileged. Gerald Nanji Eyambe reports.
In their continuous quest to put smiles on the faces of vulnerable children, especially during this festive period, staff of the Ministry of Social Affairs have donated foodstuff and other items to some orphanages in the nation's capital. The caravan visited St. Kizito Orphanage at Nkolbisong and the Life of Grace Orphanage at Ifulan with the same mission.
The Ministry of Social Affairs is in charge of protection and promotion of the rights of socially vulnerable persons. That is why we are out today to put smiles on the faces of vulnerable children, also to give them some gifts so that they can feast at the end of the year. These are orphanages that did not benefit last year, so we decided to make them a priority this year. We are also offering them that comfort that they do not have at the level of the family.
Given the challenges that go with taking care of these kids, the beneficiaries say the gesture is timely.
They have more hope. They have in mind that actually the government is taking care.
Led by the association's president, Madame Musa Lasome, the Mina staff are looking forward to doing even more in the months ahead.
And let's talk sports now. The intermediate Lions of Cameroon have played a 1-1 tie with the Cranes of Uganda in day one of the four-nation mini tournament prior to the African Nations Championship, the CHAN. The encounter took place Friday at the Yaoundé Omnisport Stadium. As we hear in this report with Romeo Kenya.
A 6-goal thriller at the Yaoundé Annex 1 Stadium. 3 for Niger and 3 for Zambia. The Shipolo Polo earlier took the lead, with Collins Sekombe banking on the Menace defensive naivety. But with no delay, Niger's Ibrahim Issa came retaliating 4 minutes after. A balanced equation on either side, a clinical finish from Moses Fury granted a 2-1 lead to the Shipolo Polo before recess. Upon resumption, Collins Sekombe netted a brace to raise hope for his team. But two beautiful strikes from Niger's forward, Ibrahim Issa and Musa Issa, came to equate tally. A moved term, an excellent remontada.
All the 3 goals have come as a set piece and aftermath of set piece. It's something that is generally our weakness and we need to work on.
In a nutshell, both squads demonstrated good football fundamentals, playing with precision and mastery of game plan. The next matches of the Four Nations mini tournament prior to the start of the African Nations Championship are slated for Monday.
Kenya was rather giving to us the results of the Menas of Niger versus the Chipolopolos of Zambia. We're definitely going to get reports on the match pitting Cameroon against Uganda, which ended on a 1-1 tie. Thank you very much for following the 7:30 news. We've come to the end. Let's watch the 8:30 news with Atta Badin Omar. I will be right back here tomorrow for what is making news in Cameroon and out of the country. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms.
Je m'appelle Thomas Kamer. À une époque, j'ai joué et j'ai ennoblé le championnat national de mon pays, le Cameroun. Ensemble, faisons rayonner l'ambition de ceux qui nous succèdent à l'occasion du Total Champ Cameroun 2020.
Total